Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a new video from Dead Meat, Urban Legends Final Cut from the year 2000. Let's hop in and see, well, the final cut for these legends.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today
James.
we're looking at Urban
go.
Legends, yes, with an S now, Final Cut, released in 2000, 2 years after the successful original Urban Legend, no S. Final Cut takes place on a different college campus with a different group of students. It still takes place in the same universe, since Reese the security guard is back, but by now the events of the last movie have become something of a legend themselves.
Oh, I've heard this one. It supposedly happened at Pendleton. It's just an urban legend.
That tracks with the final scene of the first film. Making things interesting is the fact that our new main character is a film student working on her thesis, which is a movie where people are killed based on urban legends. She's basically making the first one as an in-universe movie. Urban Legends Final Cut is the only feature-length film directed by John Ottman. He had a lot more credits editing and composing, 2 jobs he also did here. As a composer, he's done Halloween H2O, Orphan, a bunch of X-Mans, and The Usual Suspects. He also edited The Usual Suspects, as well as most of Bryan Singer's films, including Bohemian Rhapsody, which he won the editing Oscar for. A bit controversially, I must say. Ottman's directing is a huge step down from Jamie Blank's, and the script doesn't do him any favors, even though it was written by the incredibly talented Scott Derrickson and Paul Harris Boardman. They'd go on to write many better movies, like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Derrickson in particular has become horror nobility, directing classics like Sinister and The Black Phone. This script was super early in his career, the first feature film he worked on alongside Hellraiser Inferno. Maybe that's why Final Cut feels like a first draft with an awful structure. Scenes are randomly thrown around, making this a surprisingly difficult kill count script to write. It's also got way too many dull fucking characters who are poorly introduced, so you don't even know who half of them are. It's the old slasher trap of having too many meat bags to inflate the body count. Thankfully, the kills are pretty good, and as someone who went
too many bodies, not enough bags. There you go, James. You could have put that on shot. Too many bodies, not enough bags.
To film school, I enjoyed the specific details pertaining to the setting. Derrickson and Boardman drew on their experiences as film students at USC, resulting in dialogue that's realistic and informed, like how the main character is constantly patronized by film school bros.
Especially you, little girl.
This is my baby. Baby.
I'll see you on the set. Darling.
If you're a huge fan of Scream-inspired second-wave slashers, you could do worse. Like I said, the kills are good, and the cast has a bunch of people who would go on to have successful careers. But for the most part, this is a subpar sequel to a solid movie, and at the end of the day, there's not too much that makes it a must-watch. My senior year movie was a short called Mother Lover. No matter how many students get killed making the thesis in this film, I guarantee it's still better than what I made. Let's get to the kills.
Yeah, let's get to the kills.
The movie begins during a stormy plane ride, with one passenger referencing a famous Twilight Zone episode.
They had this, creature on the wing of the plane.
These movies always gotta have one of those guys, huh? If this party plane and mile-high initiation attempt seems silly to you, don't worry. We can ignore the punny threat, the oxygen masks, and most importantly, these kills. None of it ends up being real.
It's all fake?
They're just making a movie!
God.
It's the most high-budget film school project I've ever seen. Look at that rig! Then again, Alpine University is the biggest film school I've ever seen. It's got everything. A cool bridge, a bunch of Winklevosses, and modern architecture. This is Trent University in Peterborough, Ontario, designed by Canadian architect Ronald Thom. Director John Ottman wanted something different from the Gothic style of the first film's campus. I like it. Alpine also has top teachers like Professor Sullivan. Eyeing Sullivan from the auditorium is film student Amy Mayfield, who still hasn't come up with a thesis film idea. She's been too busy jogging into ghosts. Oh shit! She's played by Jennifer Morrison a few years before she'd get cast in House. One night on campus, Amy is stopped by Reese, played by the returning Loretta Devine. She's transferred to Alpine from Pendleton, so she can help train new final girls.
Just like that. No, show me your badge. No, can I see some ID?
Can I see some ID?
I ain't got no ID.
Reese shows Amy her gold-accented gun, and they bond over Pam Grier's filmography.
I've always been partial to Foxy Brown.
That's my sister, baby.
And she's a whole lot of woman.
Yo, did Amy just get invited to the cookout? Reese mentions the Pendleton murders, which have become something of an urban legend themselves. Maybe, because even Reese gets the facts wrong.
Murders 8 students.
What? That's not true. There were 6 students murdered and 3 faculty members. Come on, Reese, you lived through this. Amy doesn't believe it really happened, but likes the tale enough to pitch it as her thesis film.
The movie is about a serial killer whose murders are all based on urban legends.
Solomon tells her he likes it, because he's the cool professor.
I like it. Now write it.
Theory dweeb. Though I've got to say, the monologue this guy goes on about mise-en-scène and cinema verite is actually pretty great. It's real film school shit. Now we're in a bar with characters we don't know. Seriously, who the fuck are these two? The guy's apparently
Random.
Travis Stark. The movie tells us a few times.
Travis Stark.
Travis Stark.
Film genius.
He's a film student.
Film genius.
Sorry, film genius, director, and a
student.
rival of Toby Belcher's, the only person here who we have seen before. He was the super cocky douchebag director in that opening scene.
Why don't you get it right?
Oh.
Or I'll kill you!
Don't scream too loud, dude. You might blow your own head up. Here, Toby is broody and stalky and feels like an entirely different character than the earlier scene. He gets rejected by this Lisa lady we've never seen, who didn't know her drink got drugged, but is finding out real fast. Makes things hard for her. And
Holes and someone else's.
Pretty soon, she's getting all banned. She wakes up in a bathtub full of ice to replicate one of the most famous urban legends, the one where someone gets their kidney stolen. It's what crazy-ass Brenda had planned to do to Alicia Witt. Lisa manages to lock out her kidney napper, with 2 doors even, and tries to climb out this above-ground saw bathroom. But since there's no ladder 49 to climb down, the killer stops her. Lisa tears her hands open on the barbed wire and vein as the killer claws at her kidney wound. Ouch! As they drag her back inside, she breaks the window, which is then slammed down through her neck, decapitating Lisa in a kill I've always thought was awesome. Doggy likes it too. They get a treat. Amy has a major crush on Travis Stark.
Travis Stark.
Maybe because he got them magic fingers. Hey, he's trying to sound mixed in private. Stop looking, Emma Swan! She's such a big stan, it makes her say awkward things.
I'll call you about it on the phone.
Don't worry, Amy. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Despite his cinematic aesthetic, Travis Stark's film project gets a C fucking minus. He becomes a drinking, smoking mess.
Damn it.
Aw, fuck up, Travis Stark.
Travis Stark.
Amy still has to film her project, even if Toby's pissed at her for making a horror movie just like him.
Mayfield, you stole my fucking genre.
Hey guy, horror belongs to
What do you mean,
everyone.
genre?
He's worried it'll hurt his chances to win the school's...
No, I understand what a genre is. I just mean, what do you mean, your genre? Unless it says, like, on the syllabus that there can only be, like, one type of movie, then nah, you have no claims. And there could be 20 horror movies.
Hitchcock Award, which comes with a bunch of grant money and a path straight to Hollywood. Amy's using the same actress too, her friend Sandra, even though as a thespian, she ain't the bestian.
That woman's acting would be wretched in a porno film.
Sandra's played by Jessica Caulfield,
That's an
last
insult.
seen on the kill count in Jamie Blanks' Valentine. But she's maybe best known for Legally Blonde, which also starred Matthew Davis, aka
Travis Stark.
This movie has another pair of contemporary
Alright.
co-stars with 2 people in the opening plane scene. The weird geek is Chuck Campbell, who played android building Sunarin in Jason X, and Sandra's muff diving love interest is Yanni Gelman, who is right alongside him as Stoney. Amy's student film crew includes
cool.
Stan and Dirk, 2 makeup artists obsessed with horror movies. Stan's played by Anthony Anderson, seen on the kill count in Scream 4, while Dirk's
Not
played
bad.
by Michael Bacall, an actor and writer whose screenwriting credits include Scott Pilgrim and the Jump Street films. Nice.
Wow.
There's also a PA named Kevin, whose introduction signals him as our overly obvious red herring, kind of like the janitor in the first movie. Finally, there's a German director of photography named Simon, who can
Of course
eyeball a
it's
shot
German.
almost as good as he can eye-fuck a co-ed. Vanessa, a take-no-shit lesbian, played by Ava Mendes a year before her breakthrough role in Training Day, and Graham Manning, played by eldest Lawrence brother Joey, a stereotypical douchebag producer.
You do know he's a PA, not a slave,
Not
right?
bad.
Same difference.
The first scene Amy wants to film is the urban legend where a woman thinks she's safe because her dog licks her hand at night, but the next morning, her dog's dead, and a message says humans can lick too. After a less than successful
that is-
shoot, Sandra winds up on set by herself. Before you
Okay,
can
how's that an urban legend? That's just gross. And what did I say in the last video? Oh, don't mess with the dogs.
Say Scream 3, a person rises up from an unlikely hiding spot. How long were they under that blanket? It's like Pinup Girl and Strangers Pray at Night. They grab a camera and get handheld with it, stalking up to Sandra as she hunts for her keys and fake guts. My favorite part about this is that the movie makes sure to show sound being recorded separately. Most people watching this wouldn't know that camera doesn't have a soundtrack. They didn't have to be that accurate, but they were. When Sandra sees them, the killer takes a razor and murders the actress, though it cuts away to dailies being reviewed by Amy the next day. And
Smile, you're on camera. Cut. And we're back.
the footage is not that good.
Guys.
A mystery projectionist saves them from the torture to show them a real snuff film where Sandra's murder is captured on camera. Most of the students think it's fake, even though none of them were on set for it. Amy's the only not idiot among them.
She probably staged it for a reel.
Yeah, well then, who shot it?
Maybe
Then who
Travis
shot it?
Stark?
Yeah.
Travis Stark.
Yeah, see?
He's dead.
Oh. Never mind. Professor Solomon
Shut
makes
up,
an
Andy.
announcement that Travis Stark was found dead by suicide. He speaks about it in a comically insensitive way.
Not only did he let himself down, he let us all down.
Jesus, dude. Though there is some
That is
mystery
an asshole
afoot, I
thing.
will add Travis Stark to the kill count right now, because he is actually dead, even if we didn't see it. Amy visits the bell tower where he was said
I mean, no body, so red herring. Maybe he is the killer. I don't know. Well, moving on.
to have killed himself, and she finds...
Travis?
No, actually, this is Travis's twin.
I'm Trevor Stark.
He's Trevor Stark.
Travis Stark.
Nope, we're on Trevor now.
Trevor Stark.
That's right. Trevi doesn't think Travi
Oh,
killed
boy.
himself, and he's here to figure out what really happened. Cool guy skullcap skulk away. Amy gets back to filming her movie on her own, without money from Graham's parents. Yeah! Honestly, the tension between them here doesn't make a lot of horse sense to me, but we get her backstory out of it. Amy's father was an Oscar-winning documentary filmmaker who died when she was 13. She doesn't
Damn.
see herself as a nepo baby, though. She's trying to carve her own path with her crappy horror movie. Tonight they're filming The Legend, where a silly screaming ritual at midnight masks the sounds of a real murder happening nearby. So, you know what's coming next. Simon takes off to have a cigarette while they record the wild screams inside. An excessively long take of the loudest
Jeez.
fucking screaming. God. Seriously, Amy, I think you got it. Her 10-hour loop of screaming does the job, masking when the killer assaults Simon and beats him to death with his
Ooh,
own camera
shit.
lens. We get a good look at their fencing mask attire as the killing blows are delivered to Simon's head. That's gotta hurt more than expensive glass falling to the ground.
Definitely.
Simon's final cries
Both.
for help are somehow picked up from the boom mic all the way inside. By the time Amy
Not
gets
likely.
outside, it's too late, but thankfully, there are CCTV cameras everywhere. That means she has an excuse to visit security guard Reese, interrupting her foxy time. Reese doesn't buy her story,
sorry.
despite already having lived through a movie of college campus murders. But she does lend the tapes to Amy, who uses them to confirm Simon's murder. She then
Aha.
comes face to face with the killer, rocking a scary Mac Tonight mask? What? They quickly revert to their usual fencing attire, and Amy has to
Why the
escape
hell
them
did-
in a little chase scene. She
No,
wa-
no, hold on. We're gonna pause and ask, why did he switch mask for that little scene? That doesn't make sense. And I mean, honestly, the guy would be a lot more terrifying if he just stuck with the fencing mask instead of the Mac Tonight.
winds up eating shit and falling into a lake, losing the tape with her evidence while she does. By the time she escapes and runs into Reese, she can't prove anything anymore. Amy meets up with Trevor Stark and proposes that the killer might be motivated by the Hitchcock Award. That's why they killed Travis Stark. He's, of course, a
Film genius.
and that's why they tried to kill her, too? Wow, humble brag much? Trevor wants to use Amy as fucking bait to get the killer, getting her to agree with arm caresses and guilt trips.
Do you think we owe it to Travis and your friends?
That kind of anguish leads to a weird little nightmare sequence with all the movie's shitty suspects echoing in her head.
Latex and cornflakes.
She gets back to work on her
Eh.
film. The next scene concerns a UL about a carnival that uses real dead bodies in its tunnel of terror. They've got a set dress a minecart ride for the part, and Stan and Dirk are more than eager to go through the hustle and flow. They get to work inside this actual ride that was filmed at Ontario Park in Toronto. In real life, this was a log ride that had been drained of its water for the winter months. Production designer Mark
Not bad.
Zielski helped turn it into a minecart ride.
Very
The boys
clever.
finish decorating and tell Amy to check their work, but they've got to find some consistency here. I don't see how a fencing miner fits in at all. The killer quits pretending to
It's
be
not.
a killer animatronic and instead just gets the killing. Stan joins the departed via electrocution when the killer puts a
Ooh.
power cable to the bar he's leaning on. I love the little miner guy plugging his ears. Dirk comes to check on Stan,
God
only to get
dang.
killed in turn when the killer pulls a classic slasher villain and tosses Dirk into a bunch of electrical shit. As always, it's a 2-for-1, killing Dirk and knocking out the power. Amy gets out of the car
Damn,
and quickly
double
finds
kill.
Dirk's toasted body, kicking off another chase scene. There's a good moment in this one where Amy outsmarts the villain in a clever climbing maneuver. After she escapes, she yells at Trevor Stark for being useless and
Very clever.
suspiciously absent during her chase scene. You should have seen me, Trev. I ran away so good. She falls asleep and has an out-of-place sex dream about Trevor,
What the
during
hell?
which we get a hint of man-ass. But that's all for nudity in this franchise. Most of these Scream-inspired slashers stayed away from the TNA. When she wakes up, Trevor is gone, but there's a
okay.
light on inside the tower where Travis died. She gets there to find Vanessa, giving herself a Bond villain intro, even though she's not the killer. She's been lured here with a note supposedly from Amy, saying that she likes her.
I mean, at first I was a little surprised, but, you know, not really.
They realize it's a trap when a dummy drops from the ceiling,
Ooh.
so on to another chase scene. Go, go, go! Amy and Vanessa climb up the tower and hide behind a door at the top, but it doesn't take long for the killer to find them and take Vanessa
Kind of
away by the
obvious.
hair. Amy turns a light on to find the bodies of Simon the cameraman and Sandra. Ooh, with rats coming out her neck.
Ow.
Well, there were such cute little ratty boys behind the scenes. When she finally busts out, she's greeted with one more body, Vanessa's, hanging
Damn
from
it.
the bell and dinging it back and forth. Reese sees Amy as she's fleeing the tower, making Amy look a little sus. She runs into Trevor, who says he's figured out the common ground between all of the victims. They all worked on his brother's thesis project, The Gods of Men. They grab
Oh.
the reel and watch it down, and their reaction is pretty rotten.
How could Travis make such a shitty movie?
Maybe he isn't a film genius?
Well, no shit, he's a
impossible.
student.
And Amy sees exonerating editing, a film splice between the movie and the credits. They realize Travis Stark's name has been spliced onto a different, shittier film project. They suspect the killer is the only person who worked on this movie and isn't dead yet, Toby Belcher.
Aha.
Amy stops him at a crossroads while wearing a dumb-looking outfit. Assisting her is a man carrying a road flare like he were Jason, but he's actually...
Travis.
No, damn it, this is Trevor!
Trevor Stark.
Trevor and Amy freaking tie
Yeah,
up
everyone's
Toby
just-
and stick a gun in his face, but don't worry.
Okay, you
Amy
can probably
says
put the
it's
gun
just
down.
a prop. Does that knock it down to a misdemeanor? She's called Professor Sullivan
Probably.
here to tattle on Toby, and oh shit, Graham, is that you? Sure, you can watch like a little creep, whatever. Trevor, pretending to be Travis, tells Solomon that Toby stole his film, but Toby laughs at this supposed discovery. He says he didn't even work on Travis's movie, and the two of them lied about his sound credit. Solomon won't stand for that kind of cheating in his temple.
Means I gave you an A in sound for
Then
nothing.
explain the splice. I mean, you got the evidence right there. That's splice. Someone did it. Oh shit!
Yep, this time Hart Bachner's not offering to help the killer. He is the killer. He admits to murdering Travis Stark before we get another chase scene that goes through a sci-fi set and or laser tag arena. They end up on a gothic cemetery set where Solomon says he hates his job. Fuck teaching! Now we get his motivation. He
expecting
used to be a
that.
film student here at Alpine, and his film nearly won the prestigious Hitchcock Award. But the tie-breaking vote came from Amy's documentarian dad, who went with the other option and cost Solomon a Hollywood career. Now his plan is to steal Travis's brilliant film and kill everyone who worked on it so they can't reveal the truth. He'll blame the kills on Amy, since the murders are like her thesis film. Graham pops out to get involved, but winds up getting shot in the back and falling into a grave. Further scuffling
Oh,
ensues
boy.
until Amy points a gun at Solomon, and Reese shows up to point a gun at Amy, still suspecting her.
No.
Toby reveals he survived the rolly chair gunshot that must have been hell on wheels, and the fists start flying. Eventually, a bunch of prop guns spill out, and the real one gets lost among the shuffle, but
That's
Amy
good.
recognizes Reese's piece from its foxy golden accents. When Solomon charges her, she puts a bullet in his belly, stopping the bad guy and saving the day. Good job,
Put a couple
Graham
more.
and Toby.
Top
You
three.
both somehow managed to survive. Sometime later, they're presenting the Hitchcock Award, and guess who wins it?
Travis Stark.
Travis Stark? Way to give all that money and opportunity to a dead guy. Trevor goes to accept it on his brother's
Oh,
behalf,
wow.
but that's when Kevin the PA finally snaps and takes out a gun. Reese sees it
Oh,
and
shit.
spouts off a catchphrase before shooting him a whole bunch of times. He falls over the ledge and straight into a crash pad, because this is just Amy's movie, motherfuckers! Wait,
Ah.
Amy's movie references Travis Stark's actual death and has his twin brother, a non-actor, playing himself?
So how am I doing?
You're doing great.
Why are you asking that guy? He's not even a film student. The movie
They're a
seems
couple
to
now?
end with a
I don't
slate,
know.
one that references producer Michael McDonald, but it's still got one little surprise left in the chamber. Professor Solomon is revealed to be alive but in a mental hospital, where his nurse is none other than Brenda Bates.
I think we have a lot in common.
She spikes the camera and wheels him away
don't
to
get
the
it.
theme from Alfred Hitchcock Presents. But sadly, this doesn't lead to a third movie where the two killers team up. How many film students flunked the pass-fail class of life? Let's find out and get to the numbers right after I record some wild screams from the Dead Meat team. All right, everybody, let her rip!
Oh. Okay, for a second I thought I would have to actually tone down the volume, but no, thankfully he did that for me. Thank you, James A. Janice.
Got it. Perfect. Thanks so much, everybody. That sounded great, especially near the end. 7 people died in Urban Legends Final Cut, with the victims consisting of 4 men and 3 women. This is actually a pretty popular pie chart, since we've seen this count and breakdown before in 6 other movies on this show. With a runtime of 98 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 14 minutes even. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Lisa. I absolutely love the broken window being used as a guillotine. Not only that, it caps off some great stuff with the barbed wire, and of course the kidney. Dole Machete for lamest kill will go to, I mean, you guessed it,
Travis Stark.
Film genius.
Dude's death was just reported. A film genius deserves a much better kill. And that's it. Urban Legends Final Cut came out in 2000 and grossed half of what the first movie did at the box office. That meant the threequel would be condemned to a direct-to-video release. I'll look at it next week, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this kill.
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description below, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.